the 6 Hours of Bahrain, the Bapco 6 Hours of Bahrain, the finale of the 2015 FIA World Endurance Championship. And thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out from a very busy schedule. I know you've got a lot of things on your plate this weekend in the final round, a lot of titles that are going to be settled. Very exciting for the media and fans, so it's great to have you here. A little bit different from the drivers. It worked well last year. It's become an annual event, so it's nice to get your opinions and thoughts on 2015, and also look forward to 2016 for next year's championship. So just introducing the panel from right to left: Pascal Vasselon, the technical director for Toyota Gazoo Racing; Chris Reinke, the head of LMP for Audi Sport; and we have Alex Hitzinger, the technical director for the Porsche team. And next to Alex we have Marco Ujhasi. Nice to see you, Marco. And next to Marco we have Marco Fainello from Ferrari, the GT technical coordinator. And next to Marco we have John Gore from Aston Martin Racing, the team principal. Welcome, gentlemen. And we're going to start off with a question for all of you, so we'll start with Pascal. Pascal, the development race this year has been absolutely fascinating. How do you summarise the technical developments so far through 2015 for Toyota?
I think what we have seen this year is an incredible progress rate. We are talking about progressing between 3 and 5 seconds a lap on a normal circuit and more than that in Le Mans. So yeah, nowadays in the WEC it's about developing every single element of your package. You cannot afford, as we did on 1 or 2 elements, you need to develop your chassis, you need to develop your aero, of course your engine and your hybrid system. So yeah, what we see at the moment in WEC is purely impressive in terms of technology development ahead.
Thank you very much, Pascal. And Chris, from your point of view, it's been an incredible toing and froing this season with your rivals at Porsche. We've seen the early races, of course, you had the advantage, and then it went back to Porsche, and then both of you have been pushing so hard. Just summarising in your mind how the developments have gone from Audi's perspective this year technically.
Well, for sure. The start of the season, we already realised that the performance gain of all the competitors were much greater than before, and Pascal just summarised, it's at a fascinating level. The performance is driven at the moment. We got a good start of the season with tight racing. It could have been Porsche or us on the first place in Silverstone and S.p.A. We got lucky in there. Then unfortunately we hit some trouble in Le Mans and couldn't straight away come back. To be honest, I think in Nürburgring and as well in Austin, we didn't really have a chance. We had a kind of comeback from the performance level. Fuji Shanghai, I think we had a word in there, but couldn't quite deliver. So for sure, our target here for this weekend, to end it on a high and see that we really come back and try to take that momentum to next year.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Chris. Moving over to Alex. Alex, congratulations on one of the titles wrapped up in Shanghai last time out. Now for the driver's title, from your perspective, this weekend is the aim and objective. Like Chris, just talk us through this incredible battle that you've had with Audi this year. It's been something to behold, but from the inside, how's it been from the development perspective?
First of all, thank you. As Pascal already said, I think the important thing to see is that the cars have to be optimized in all areas. So we haven't concentrated on a single thing like concentrate on achieving 8 megajoule from 14 to 15. That was just one part. And in fact, we probably have gained equal amounts of performance in all areas. So you look at aerodynamics, you look at vehicle dynamics and grip, you look at powertrain, you look at weight. We had a weight deficiency and also weight penalty in 14. Aerodynamics, in all areas we have gained probably almost equal amounts, and this is the name of the game. It's a development race. You can't afford to lack anywhere, and this will be exactly the same for next year. So we have to keep optimizing everything. So when we came from 14, where clearly this was the first shot, it was the first car, There was quite a lot of potential there, performance potential, because also of the concept, because we were quite aggressive in the concept. So it was, for me, it was clear that from 14 to 15 we'll make a big step. That was already clear in 14. Interesting will be what will be the next step from 15 to 16. I think it will be quite a lot more difficult.
I'm sure it will. Thanks very much, Alex. Moving over to Marco. Again, like in LMP, a titanic battle between yourselves and Ferrari for the manufacturer's title. Still raging, still a very slender points margin between both of you. How have you, as Porsche's manager this year, technical manager, how have you orchestrated the package that you've had with the 911 this year?
Yeah, well, due to the fact that the car is homologated and you have not that big playing field like the colleagues left from my side, it's all about understand your package better and really make the best out of it what you have, which means really focusing on the setup work every weekend, find out what tire is the right one to use, not just for the peak performance, also for the long run performance, and that's mainly we are focusing on. And I think we understood something better than last year, and therefore we are still in the game for the last race. And yeah, let's see what happens the next 2 days.
Thank you, Marco. More Marco to another Marco. Marco, from your perspective this year, a lot of it's been about tyres ultimately and how the cars have used their tyres. Has that been the distinguishing feature in LMGTE this year?
Yeah, actually, it is what I was going to add. The performance is becoming tighter, narrower differences, and the tires are becoming more difficult to use to exploit to the limit. We see during the races, sometimes during the event, the same event, how much tires can give different level of performance, and I think this has given quite an interesting races during the year, having different cars in front or fighting different conditions. So for us, it's been, as Mark mentioned, being the car homologated has been more understanding how to use the package, and the tires is probably the most important part of the package.
Yes, thank you, Marco. And John, moving on to you, it's been a challenging season, I think, for Aston Martin Racing for various reasons which have been discussed before. But from your perspective, how would you evaluate the season as a whole?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been a season of two halves, really. I think the first half of the season, for the first couple of races, including the long car, we were competitive. For the second half of the season, we haven't been as competitive as we wanted to be. And both Marcos, I think, have hinted at the reason. And really, the tyre development has been very significant in GT. In fact, the cars have grown nearly 2 to 3 seconds a lap quicker than they were this time last year. And for a homologated car, you can see where that difference has come from. And unfortunately, as that development has happened, it's went more towards the mid and rear engine cars than the front engine cars. So we struggled for the second half of the season. But you know, when you're struggling, that's when the team comes together. And for sure, we're starting to focus very early on next year. I'm trying to finish the season on a high at this race as well. So let's see what happens over the winter.
Thank you, John, and good luck this weekend to Aston Martin Racing. We've also got some questions from our very many Twitter followers on social networking. So we've got a few of these we're going to insert in the conference now. The first one actually is a question directly to Alex. Alex, this is from the F1 engineer, at the F1 engineer. And the question to you is, would you be interested in F1 variants of your engines if it were to move to a total energy limited formula? Is that something you can answer to the F1 engineer?
Can you repeat again?
Yes, would you be interested in F1 variants of your engines if it were to move to a total energy limited formula?
I mean, this is not really a topic for us, and frankly also the regulations are obviously quite different, so it would have to be a different engine. You couldn't take our engine and put it in a Formula 1 car and be competitive. So it's not really an option.
Okay, that answers the question to the F1 engineer. Thank you very much, Alex. And just moving on now to a question for our LMP only guests here. What do you think has been the key technical area this season that has influenced the outcome of the FIA WEC in terms of competitiveness ultimately victories. Pascal, what's your opinion on what you've seen in the
I
championship?
think we have touched already a possible answer to this question. All areas of the car have been important this season. It was not possible to leave behind one of them. Nevertheless, if we have to pick one area of the car, our regulations are designed to make the powertrain a major performance factor. And it achieves that. So if we have to pick one area of the car which I would say is dominant in our category, in our series, it is definitely the powertrain.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. And Chris, your opinion on that one?
Not quite sure if I share that, but that's probably, we run different concepts and different priorities, and especially what we've seen the development throughout the beginning of the season, throughout the season. I think aerodynamic is a point that stands out. It is always quite obvious if you make changes there as well. But if I would rate one point, that is for sure. We're heading into restricting this area in the future by regulations. Obviously, when it comes to race strategy, we have seen different tyre strategies, different usage, multi-stinting, single-stinting, and so on. But at the end, we summarize all technical topics again. So I'm not sure if we really should point one out and prioritize, or if it's exactly how we started as it's run today, if it's managing the complexity, because there are so many priorities.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Chris. And moving over to Alex. Alex, it's been obvious this season that the new model 919 hybrid has been much easier or better, more efficient on its tyres in particular. Is that purely mechanical and aerodynamic emphasis really on how the 2015 car has been for you?
Big role played aerodynamics, clearly. We've made improvements also on the suspension side, and we continuously improve our tyre management, also the way we use the powertrain. But the biggest chunk came from aerodynamics, and also overall, to answer the other question, aerodynamics clearly is a very important part on these cars. And also I think it's difficult to pinpoint or overweight one area over the other. It also depends on what is your starting point. Like, I think we made a big step from 14 to 15 on the powertrain side. I think Audi made a huge step on the aerodynamic side. Probably next year will be the other way around. So I don't think you can pinpoint it on something.
Okay, thanks very much, Alex. And moving on to next year and what we can anticipate, there's lots of news coming through about everyone's package for 2016. And Marco, if I can start with plans for Porsche for next year, what can you tell us about what's going to happen for 2016 and beyond?
Well, for next year we will do an update of our existing car, fitting in the new regulations. That's the task, so we will not be on the grid with a completely new car. So it's mainly the things we have to do to fit into the new regulations and continue working on the whole package to understand it even better and try to make the right decisions for being competitive during the next year.
Very good, thank you, Marco. Marco, we've seen lots of testing going on with the new superb-looking 488, and I noticed testing at Paul Ricard last week. What can you tell us about the latest news on the development of the car and plans for the winter and for next year as well?
Yeah, we have a new car, not only an update for the regulation, and we are understanding how to use a turbo compressed engine for the regulation on the S.p.A. GT, which is not obvious also because the regulations are quite different from the past experience, which is already quite many years ago. And we took the opportunity not only to review the car from the engine, for the gearbox, but for all the aspects. So we are trying to make a car that is, of course, the result of the development of the existing car, but we touch everything in the car to get prepared for the new challenge.
Thank you, Marco. John, you mentioned coming back fighting for next season. What can we expect from Aston Martin Racing in 2016?
Yeah, so likewise to Porsche, and we've got an evolution of the current car that meets the regulations, probably about 25% different to the current car, and for those that are here on Sunday for the test, you'll see it running. So we'll run the car on Sunday, along the 2015 car as well. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's quite an external change, even though it's only 25% different. All the body panels are new, so aerodynamic focus is quite different, and we're looking forward to it running.
Good, looking forward to seeing that. John, it actually fits in nicely to another one of our Twitter questions from Sarah Rigby at Petrolhead Sarah. Sarah's question is, do you feel you will be more competitive with the new Vantage and its new aero package next year? I think that may be something you've already answered, but
I mean, the answer is I hope so. But I mean, we should be. The aerodynamic package is focused for us on reducing drag as opposed to increasing downforce. We've got quite a lot of downforce on the car just now. And brand new regulations for next year with a reset, and we're looking forward to it. Obviously we're not coming with a brand new car, so we're coming with a package that from a mechanical perspective should be reliable. And yeah, we've done a bit of testing so far, and we're continuing that after this weekend.
Thank you, John. And Marco, one question for you directly from Twitter from Pim Sternberg, at Pim Sternberg, and Pim asks, will the 488 be a lot different to the current GTE car, and some of the detail of how it is different to the current car?
When you do a new race car, you always start saying, oh, we have a good car, we don't have to change it too much, and you finish out to changing everything, because you have so much in your pocket, you've been thinking for a long time that you touch a bit of everything. So the game is to try the right balance, keeping the good things in the past, don't change it too much, but don't change it too little. So, as I said, it is a development of the existing car, which is a very good car, so it's a good guarantee for the future, but I don't think there is any single detail that has not been carefully reviewed. Sometimes small details, but racing is made of small details.
Of course, very good, Marco, thank you very much. And our LMP guest here, Pascal, obviously we know there's a lot of changes for Toyota next year, going to a turbo engine, going up to the 8 megajoule retrieval class, and going to batteries instead of the supercapacitor. What else can you tell us about the 05 for next year? It's going to be quite something to see, hopefully.
It's done, you've said everything. No, what can I say? We are in a very tight schedule, because we've made our decision to change our powertrain, I would say, around Le Mans. We started really to think about it after S.p.A, and the final decision has been made after Le Mans, which is too late, very late, too late to change the powertrain, but we have done it, we had to do it. Our plan was to do another year with the current powertrain, but obviously it was not making sense. So we have put in place a schedule. The schedule is extremely tight, less than comfortable, and at the moment we are working according to this schedule. So we are on schedule, but very late.
Okay, thanks very much. When can we anticipate seeing it on the track, Pascal? Have you got a specific time?
We have not communicated on that yet. We believe we will maintain our rollout date, but I will keep it for myself for the moment.
Okay, that's your priority. Thank you very much, Pascal. And Chris, in terms of what we can look forward to from Audi next year, what can you tell us?
Well, our goal is very clear: winning machinery. When it comes to details, also there we keep it quite tight at the moment. We are about within the next 10 days to announce something about it. But for sure, I mean, we have lost the Manufacturers' Championship this year. We're willing to get that back to Ingolstadt, so we are on full pull. Saying that means we are kind of on a triple program in parallel at the moment back home, because we had the battle for the DTM open to the very last race. We continuously try to bring updates for the current car, and on top to design next year's machinery. So we look forward to meet all our performance targets, and hopefully can tell you more within the next 10 days.
Thank you, Chris. And Alex, how do you better the season where you've won Le Mans and the Manufacturers' Championship? Go for it again, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's probably difficult to better it, but obviously we want to achieve the same thing, and for that, clearly we need to make a performance step. I mean, we did a completely new car for 15, so we'll not do this again. It's not something you do every year. So we carry over our chassis, but because this is a development race, so as we said earlier, you have to improve everywhere, so we will improve all areas, but it will be an evolution rather than a completely new car. But still, if you change them, if you do a development, you still almost touch every single component. So it will be still quite significantly different, but not a new car, basically.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. And the penultimate question, the FIA WEC is arguably the most advanced, progressive and technologically challenging series in motorsport. Beyond 16, where do you see the new exciting advancements coming from, particularly ones that will mirror the consumer and what people drive on the roads? Pascal, how do you see that evolving for the coming years in the FIA
Could you
WEC?
repeat the question, because I'm not sure I got it right.
Okay, in terms of the WEC being the pinnacle of technological advancement and what it translates to the road, how do you see what we're doing in WEC translating to the consumers in automotive and what people drive on the road in the future?
Okay, you can see this question at several levels. In our case, maybe the major return we get from the racing program is that the very same people are working for the racing program and for the road cars. And the people developing our hybrid system are coming from Toyota hybrid division. And there is a rotation which happens, they change quite often. And this makes a bridge which exists in the daily life. So there is really a common knowledge between the road car division and the motorsport division. Then, if you go to the car itself, then it's more difficult because obviously we are optimizing different things. A race car definitely doesn't optimize the same KPI. Nevertheless, for sure we are pushing the road car R&D for all what is material development, structural efficiency and things, and methodologies at large.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. And Chris, your opinion on what we do in the FIA WEC and how it, for tomorrow's consumer and road user, where do you see the technological advancements in the future?
Well, the route that the regulations took in the last year, making the efficiency the desirable or the main target to compete with their competitors. I think that is exactly the mega trend that drives our society these days. We don't want to give up on individual transportation, but we want to do it in a more efficient way. And this is exactly the mega trend that the championship hit in the correct time. And this can be now broken down into various areas. Is it the consumption efficiency of the combustion engine, if it's hybrid systems, if it's energy storage systems, and therefore. So as long as the main target is the same, then I believe every manufacturer will have its own philosophy how to break it down and build exactly that relation to the product.
Yes, interesting words. Thank you, Chris. And Alex, what do you say on that one?
So we use technologies on the 919, which are really, let's say, at the forefront of development, of automotive development, and we can take certain risks which you normally wouldn't take in a road car development. So, like, take the 800 volt, let's say, hybrid system. To go to that level of voltage is something which is, let's say, has certain risks. It's very complex, and we have made this work in the 919, and if you have seen the Mission E announcement, they are also using an 800 volt system, which they are the first ones who do that, and this is a direct compare, a direct transfer from technology which we develop in the WEC with the LMP1, which goes into the rocker side. There are various, there are several examples like that. So we have a direct transmission from technology, but also we have the indirect, as Pascal has explained. We have also many people working on both projects, on road car projects, on a racing project, where we have, for example, topics where we don't need a full man on working a certain topic. So this guy is working on the 919, but also on the future sports car. So there, the things he learns in our project, he will use on the rocker side, but the transfer is also in both directions. We're also learning every day from things which are done on the rocker side, which we can implement for us. So it's a really very active interchange.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Marco, your opinions on that one, how the technology transfer works from your perspective?
Well, all points are mentioned, so it's definitely a direct thing, technical-wise, but also what Pascal said, the methods, how you're solving your problems and working on your tasks is a big thing, and for sure the time frame you're in within the racing car is much tighter than in the production car, so you push them a bit to find the quicker solutions maybe and be even better prepared for the next generation of production cars.
Thank you, Marco. Marco, how does it push your engineers and your team to go through this research and development on a new project like you're undertaking at the moment?
Yeah, we have the benefit of using the same teams, the same people to make a road car and sports car and race cars, which is very useful. So the transfer is not really a transfer, it becomes automatic. And the focus for the future, I think, is in the integration of the systems. We have in the cars many systems, very complex. If you want to optimize how they integrate together in the optimal way, it's a complex problem to understand how to put them together to work properly. Where in the system I include also the driver. So the human-machine interface is becoming a big problem. And from road car, from sports car, race car, we have different approaches that we share. So there is a reciprocal exchange of information on the result, mainly on methodology more than on specific product or on results, but the methodology is very important in both directions.
Okay, thank you, Marco. And John, thoughts on that? Does the old maxim of win on Sunday and sell on Monday still ring true?
I think for me there's probably three things. There's some simple things that Aston Martin Racing and Aston Martin have gone this year on lubricants, for instance, and that's one big area. Second big area I would think would be endurance. Great example is the Aston Martin Vulcan, which is out right now. A lot of the components of the Aston Martin Vulcan are from the race program. And then the third one I would say would be aerodynamics. I think you can see in all the GT cars nowadays more and more advanced aerodynamics that flow through to road cars, and I think you'll see that in all the 2016 cars. There's lots of interesting little bits on the 2016 GT cars that will see evolve and have seen evolved on road cars.
Thank you very much, John. Fans on Twitter, that question is quite a generic one, but we'll start with Pascal. And the question is, what has been your favourite race this season? Pascal, maybe unfair to start with you, but
I did hate every single race this season.
That's fair.
So, if I have to pick up one, I would still pick Silverstone, because at least in Silverstone we have had some fun at the pit wall. So yes, Silverstone definitely.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. And Chris, again, the early season ones are obvious, but from your perspective, which one do you most enjoy this year?
Well, for sure, Le Mans is always special, it's the biggest race, but as we have been a bit unfortunate, I think winning the one tomorrow is the one I would pick.
Okay, good answer. And Alex, lots to choose from. What's been your and your team's highlight of 2015?
I think that's easy for us. It was Le Mans, of course, and that's what we set out to win, and that was the most important thing. The whole strategy was built around that. So.
Very good. And Marco, again, some great races to choose from. You had a great number of successes this year.
Maybe nobody in the team will understand what I'm saying now, but for me it's the race in S.p.A, because we had a very bad start of the race, and then we fight it back till the end of the race and finished quite acceptable at the end, and that's somehow the spirit is in the team. So never give up till the race is over, and we kept this also with after the problems we had at Le Mans, which was obvious. So we fight it back also there, and we are at the last race now in the game for the championships, and yeah, that's the spirit, and therefore my choice is S.p.A.
Very good, thank you, Marco. And Marco, one to choose for you from 2015?
I agree, Le Mans is always a special race. I also like the S.p.A. Despite the final result, but I think it was a very, very, very nice race, and I'm sure I will like the one on Saturday here.
Very good. And John, some great races early season, one to choose?
Well, I mean, I agree with both Marcos. It was S.p.A. because we won in S.p.A., so that was terrific. But I actually think this weekend will be a terrific race in GT. I really do. I think Porsche, Ferrari going for the championship. I think Aston will be a little bit closer this weekend, so I think we are ready for one of the true terrific GT races, and I hope so.
Great, we're all looking forward to that. One final question, and it's up to Pascal. Alex Wurz has announced his retirement, a 23-year career in motorsport, and there's the first signing for Toyota. Pascal, paying tribute to him and all that he's brought you in terms of his professionalism to Toyota. I mean, it must be extremely sad to see Alex leave the team and go into retirement this weekend.
It's clear we are losing more than a driver, as you mentioned it. It was really the very first driver we contacted when our LMP1 program took shape. Because we were expecting from him not only, I would say, pure driving talent. We were expecting from him his technical knowledge. He's a very good chassis tester, tire tester, very precise, very, I would say, structured in his feedback. He's as well a very nice and efficient mentor for the younger drivers or less experienced drivers. He has spent a lot of time with, for example, S.p.A. when S.p.A. moved from his single-seater career to endurance racing. So definitely, we are losing more than just a driver.
Tremendous, thank you, Pascal. Nice tribute to Alex, and I think everyone will share those thoughts. But thanks very much, gentlemen. It's been nice to get your opinions on 2015. Also looking forward to 2016. We appreciate your time, and I think we can look forward to a fantastic final round here at the Bapco 6 Hours of Bahrain this weekend. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.